Hello, and welcome to the class of 2024's first edition of The Edge. I'm Zoe Patrick.
And I'm John Potter. We're starting a bit later than usual for our first edition this year, but it's for a good reason.
That's right, John. We had big changes here in DMA, and we aren't the only ones. On this edition of The Edge, we'll show you all the new spaces.
Plus, we'll introduce you to some new faces as well.
Last year, we said goodbye to Mrs. Smith, who retired as the marketing and entrepreneurship instructor. But over the summer, there were some other changes. The Edge's Casey Proffer introduces us to the new faces here at Attica.
Many changes have occurred since last school year. Alongside welcoming a new part of the building, we've also got some new faces introduced. Taking on the new role of school resource officer, we at the Edge would like to offer a warm welcome to Deputy Vandenberg.
I've been an officer for 20 years with the Sheriff's Department here in Lapeer. In my time at the Sheriff's Department, I've had a lot of really good opportunities working on road patrol. But when this opportunity came along, I was excited for the chance to try something new that I haven't done yet and make an impact in a different way.
So far for Deputy Vandenberg, the experience of working at EdTech has been an easy transition.
Everybody here has been great. The students and staff, I've really enjoyed getting to know them, and I look forward to the rest of the school year.
But he's not the only unfamiliar face this year. Returning after 13 years, we'd like to introduce the new marketing teacher, Mr. Holliday.
Mrs. Smith was the teacher prior to me arriving. I've known Mrs. Smith for 20 years. She's a friend, and I know the passion that she put into the program here. So in some ways, I feel an obligation to keep that standard high and make sure that students have the same opportunities that they did prior to me arriving.
So far, he has high hopes for how this year will go.
But so far, the year's been great. The students in both the morning and afternoon are stellar kids who have a passion for marketing and entrepreneurship and bring smiles and enthusiasm every single day, which frankly makes my job easy.
And finally, joining us from Delta College, we'd like to introduce Mrs. Bouchon Weller.
I have worked as an faculty instructor, as an adjunct instructor at Delta College. I taught in the evenings there for 12 years. And I have taught adults, I have taught dual enrolled students, I have taught community members, so I have taught a variety of individuals there.
In her short time here at EdTech, Mrs. Bouchon-Weller has stated just how excited she is for this year and the years that follow.
I really enjoy this job so far. One of the most memorable things so far about the job is being able to work with the students and meet all of the wonderful faculty that I'm working with. I'm just having a really good time.
We're all thrilled to meet these bright new faces at EdTech and can't wait to see what the following years have to come. Reporting for The Edge, I'm Casey Proffer.
These aren't the only new faces we will see this year. We will be sure to introduce you to them as they arrive.
Last year, you might have noticed the construction going on here at EdTech. The new additions to the school have finally been finished, just in time for the new school year. And I'm talking just in time. New classrooms have been added, like our digital media arts classroom and studio, and careers and educations, along with a new preschool. Students are raving about their new classrooms. The Edge's Ayla Delorier shows us that excitement.
Not only are there new faces all over EdTech, but there's new places that have been added, but it hasn't been easy.
Moving into the new classroom was kind of chaotic. There's a lot of stuff that we still have to do. We have to set up the studio a lot still, but we made a pretty good dent. We dusted everything off, and the new space is a lot bigger and more spacious.
With everybody using teamwork and working together, we were able to get everything done, and it made it less chaotic.
While nursing is getting comfortable into digital media's old classroom, we hear what their favorite part of the rooms are.
I really like my new classroom because where we do our work and studying is split from our where we do our skills and where all the beds and mannequins are. So I like how we can focus on our work.
My favorite part of the room is the swivel chairs. I like spinning in them when the teachers aren't looking. And as for the studio, we have a new ramp. It's a ramp green screen, and it's spatial, 3D. So we can do a lot with that.
I like the colors. The colors are very bright, and everything feels fresh.
Definitely just the more counter space we have, and the cubbies.
There are a lot of memories that are being left behind in the old classrooms, but that doesn't mean they were forgotten.
Oh yeah, I remember the start of last year when I first moved to DMA. I fell on camera. Remember that? But yeah, it was fun. The classroom was kind of small, and we do need a lot of space for some of our projects. So
Some students miss the old rooms, but are so happy to have a fresh start.
I do miss the old classroom because it was so like cozy, and it's just like that's where we were originally, so that's always gonna be like the home base. But this room's pretty cool.
Sometimes I do, but here we have a whole nice big area, so it's new. Everybody likes that.
It will take a long time to get used to the rooms, but everyone's settling in just fine.
No, we're not quite settled in. I think we're getting comfortable and we're happy in our space, but we still got some organizing to do.
When you have time, come down to Digital Media Arts and take a look at our new studio. Reporting for The Edge, I'm Ayla Delorier.
We're enjoying our new studio quite a bit, and we hope nursing enjoys our old room more than we did.
Little Voices and Small Feet are taking over the hallways of the new wing. Preschool started on September 20th. The Careers in Education program welcomed the Teens and Tots preschoolers in the new afternoon. The afternoon preschoolers are 4 years old, many returning for their second year of preschool. They are excited to get settled in and started.
The NPM, we will mainly be focusing on like sight words and like math equations, just like spelling your name, writing your name, shapes, colors, they study, stuff like that. We're mainly getting them ready for kindergarten.
Monday through Thursday during the week. In morning session, the 3-year-old preschoolers come on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And the bodega has opened their doors for customers. Marketing and entrepreneurship students have been busy stocking the shelves. There are a few changes in the bodega from last year. They now use the Square app on both registers for debit and credit card transactions. You'll also see new slushie machines. Be sure to stop by during break.
With the opening of the bodega comes the closing of ITNet's Governor Cyber Challenge. ITNet is working their way through the yearly Governor's High School Cyber Challenge. The Cyber Challenge is an online competition that focuses on problem-solving, cryptography, and website vulnerability. Students started in late August and had until September 27th to qualify for the second round.
The Governor's Cyber Challenge is an initiative here in Michigan that's been going on for several years to try to get students introduced to the field of cybersecurity.
For the Government Challenge, we like to do a whole bunch of series of activities and projects that include coding, figuring out, going into the source code of a website, a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
The highest scoring students get to move on to the second round, being held at the Cyber Summit in Novi, Michigan on October 18th. For most of us, the beginning of June meant the beginning of summer, but for some students, summer break didn't start right away. Students from 4 programs had the opportunity to show off their skills at nationals at the end of June. The Edge's Ryan Kahn takes a look at the competitions.
Thank you, John. This past summer, 5 EdTech students traveled across the United States to compete in competitions for Skills USA and HOSA. Caitlin Verhelli competed in the Skills USA competition for action skills.
What I did at Nationals is I prepared the Cobb salad, and I had roughly 5 to 7 minutes to demonstrate my salad and talk about the dish itself.
Also at Skills USA, Claire Worrell competed in early childhood education. She put a lesson plan together and showed how she would deliver it to students.
After the competition, honestly, I was just really relieved, and I was happy with how I did, but at the same time, like, you know that feeling when you're going over every little thing that you've done and said and how you could have done things differently. I feel like any little change could have gotten me the points I needed to be up on that podium.
Nevaeh Mosher in public safety competed in criminal justice, which included demonstrating proper arrest technique, fingerprinting, and more. When competing, the students knew there was a lot on the line.
Yeah, I think just probably my overall confidence. I went into it a little nervous because it was my first time at Nationals. It's a big deal. So it was just a lot of nerves.
Meanwhile, at the HOSA competition in Dallas, Texas, Alexis Barrett Couric competed in personal care.
I was very nervous because it was different than what I've done before.
The students are satisfied with their results, but would change a few things if they could go back.
In the beginning, I was very nervous. I've never done anything like this. I'm very not like sheltered. I'm
I was in my own little shell, but skills just really brought me out of that. It just made me more independent in a way.
None of the students made the podium, however, they took a lot with them and learned a lot about their field. Congratulations, Nevaeh, Claire, Alexis, Amelia, and Caitlin. We are excited to see what these students will do this year. Reporting for The Edge, I'm Ryan Kahn.
Christmas is still months away, but the Agri-science students are already preparing for their annual poinsettia sales. Earlier this month, the students began planting the poinsettias, making them ready just in time for the holiday seasons in December.
We got them about 2 weeks ago. So beginning of September to like December, which is like 3 months for them to fully develop.
Poinsettias will be available to order closer to Christmas. All the money from the sale goes towards student competition costs.
We've heard of letters through the mail, but have you heard of chicks through the mail?
That's right. Agri-science has received baby chicks in the mail for raising hope. The Edge's Riley Herbert has the details.
There are 100 new fuzzy faces that weren't introduced earlier, and they're with our friends from Ag-science.
So currently, our students are working on prepping pens that we are putting together for the chickens that are arriving next week to be housed in our barn. So we will have 4 pens of chickens.
This is my second year doing broilers. As a first-year student, you're required to do them in animal science, so I'm looking forward to doing them again.
The project as a whole is a great opportunity for students to see from the very, very beginning, because we get these as day-old chicks, freshly hatched, all the way through the meat processing stage of it.
They go to Munchel's poultry processing, which goes towards our project Raising Hope.
Students are excited for the chicks and are looking forward to working through the stages of the chicken life cycle.
With chickens, since it's a much shorter lifespan than a lot of our other livestock, they get to see every part and piece of the entire process there.
My favorite part of having chickens in is definitely getting them when they're chicks. They're super cute, and I just love holding them.
Seeing them grow up, and when we first get them, they're just little fluffy things.
We have to clean their waters almost every single day. We have to fill their feeders. We clean their pens almost every single day, and the days that we don't, we still manage them.
Hard work pays off. Students are doing a great job of taking care of the chicks and their needs. They go out daily to make sure the chicks are growing big and strong. Thank you to Ag-science for letting us check in on their work. Reporting for The Edge, I'm Riley Herbert.
Aren't they just the cutest things, John?
Well, I think they're delicious. But anyways, that's all for our first edition of The Edge.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok at The Edge. I'm Zoe Patrick.
And I'm John Todd, signing off.